Really quick video here because I just want to discuss this. This is a post that is meant to create division. I wanted to engage with it on like a good faith level and then on a bad faith level, but ultimately it's just bad faith. This is just a bad faith post that is meant to create division amongst Black Americans and Palestinians. And I want to call it out for exactly what it is. For one thing, this post simply doesn't matter. This is a post that is meant to say that if you are a Black American, you should not support Palestinians because here is an example of them being racist to Black people. Now, one, the video that she references as her proof does not in any way support her. The woman in the video never mentions anything about slurs. She talks about a trip to Palestine that she took with a group of people, some of whom were Black Americans, and ultimately, she just has criticism of their behavior and some of their reactions to stuff that happened and some of the things that they said that was ignorant in regards to Palestinians and race. As a Black American myself, I think it doesn't matter. Obviously, racism exists everywhere, and I'm not saying that there is no racism in Palestine at all, but I think that it is minimal, and if it does exist, it is something that we contend with after we stop the genocide. That should be the goal first and foremost. So there is the video that she talks about, and again, it does not support her claims that these people were called slurs and then made a complaint. It just says that, from what I understand, there has been little to no evidence for actual people who were on this trip making this complaint. They have not themselves come out and made this complaint. And so this is exactly what I said it was at the beginning. It is a post that is meant to divide the Palestinians and Black Americans. Because I do think that there is already a bit of a divide amongst Black Americans on where we should stand with the Palestinians. And I'm going to give my take here. Aside from the fact that I don't think that being racist justifies a genocide, even if that were the case, I don't think it's the case. When I look at the Palestinians, when I look at Gaza, I see the plight of Black Americans throughout our time in this country. I see our communities like Rosewood, like Tulsa and Black Wall Street. I see those that were burned to the ground, that were destroyed at the hands of racists, of white people. I see those things in Gaza. I see the same lies of, oh, they're a racist or they're a sex criminal. I see those lies being told about the Palestinians to justify the actions taken against them. I see the same pattern over and over and over again that I've seen throughout slavery, throughout Jim Crow, throughout the civil rights movement, throughout it all. It is the exact same cycle of white supremacy, of destruction, of cruelty, of genocide. And ultimately, when I think about places like Rosewood, I feel a level of devastation for what was lost, for what cannot be reclaimed, for what cannot be rebuilt. But I do find a almost sort of peace in the idea that maybe I can stop it from happening again. I can't stop what happened to my ancestors, to the people who came before me in this country, but I can stop this country from assisting, from supporting Israel as it commits a genocide against the Palestinian people and enacts the exact same violence that was enacted on us over and over again. That is my take, and that is ultimately why a post like this really pisses me off, and I want people to see it for exactly what it is, and that is division. That is meant to dehumanize the Palestinians in your mind and make them out to be inhumane monsters, that you do not have to reckon with what is happening to them, that you do not have to sit here and be like, oh, well, maybe that is wrong, that you can turn a blind eye. You should not turn a blind eye. If you turn a blind eye, you are no better than the people who turned a blind eye at Jim Crow, at racism, at fucking slavery. You are no different than them. If you are willing to turn a blind eye on what is happening to the Palestinians, then you are putting yourself in the exact same company as those who turned a blind eye to what happened to Black Americans in this country. And simply put, that is not company I wish to be in. And that's it. That's my video. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to drive this point home as best I could because I keep seeing this post on Twitter and I see a lot of people arguing over it. And I just ultimately, that's what it is. It is division. It is meant to be division. It is meant to make us argue. It is meant to make us fight. It is meant to distract from the conversation at hand, which is the genocide against the Palestinian people at the hands of Israel and the United States of America. It is meant to make it so that you don't think about the true issue at hand. All right. It feels weird to end this video with, the usual outro. So I'm just gonna say if you liked this video, then stick around. I do other stuff. If you didn't like this video, that's fine. But if you know someone who needs to hear it, who needs to see it, then send it to them. And maybe they can understand a little bit better the sort of dynamic that is happening between Black Americans and Palestinians, and why I think that it just ultimately shouldn't matter and that this is all a big distraction. So feel free to share the video if that is something that you think could be useful to somebody. If not, that's fine too. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later. And goodbye.